It is Tuesday, August 2nd of 2022. And you are watching and or listening, hard to say, to Guy's Daily Drive. Bam! And welcome everyone to Guy's Daily Drive. I didn't do one yesterday because I had a morning appointment to see a doctor about my foot, though mostly about my big toe on my right leg, which is where they think all of the problems began with my hospital visit a month ago. Excuse me. And I got there. It was like a 10:30 appointment, and I got there, and the doctor looked at it. He was like, "Yeah, you've got ingrown toenails." And I was thinking, what, on multiple toes I have ingrown toenails? He was like, "No, you've got ingrown toenails on your right big toe, but it's on both sides." So he numbs it up, and I'm not watching any of this because I just don't want to. So he numbs it up and puts these like little wooden sticks, and I'm guessing that's to hold the nail out so that he can cut off some on either side, which is what he did. And again, I'm not watching any of this, but just based on what he was telling me as he was doing it. And got that all done, and he wrapped it up, and I was on my way, though it did come into play a little later on in the day yesterday. So from there, I went to the hospital, not because I was sick, but because I had some questions. I'd received a bill that was pretty generic, talking about an emergency room visit. And it's been so long since I've had to deal with any of this stuff, that when you go to the hospital now, you get like 3 different bills, and maybe more depending on where you live. You get a bill from the hospital itself for emergency services for using their facilities in the emergency room. Then you get another bill from the attending physician, and then you might get a third bill for observation. I don't know what that means, but so far I've gotten 2 bills. One which was paid for by our insurance, and the other one for the physician is not paid by our insurance, and that's like $1,200. So I gotta talk to our insurance company and find out why it's not being paid for through our insurance. But I'm getting the feeling that that's going to be one I'm going to have to pay for. And I guess I can't really complain too much, since the vast majority of the actual hospital stay, which was almost a week, 6 days. Whoa, what's everybody doing here? Was paid for by our insurance company. So they don't pay for wellness. So if you go to see a doctor because you have a particular ailment that doesn't require hospitalization, that's on you. a wonderful world of medical insurance. So anyway, I went to the hospital, to the financial department. That in itself could have taken up an entire guy's daily drive just trying to find the place. But I finally got there, and I was talking to the woman, and it turns out that she is from Monrovia, Liberia, which I have been to. And so we talked about Monrovia, Liberia, and parts, other parts of Africa that she went to on her journey to the U.S. And she's getting ready to, come on, everybody stop. She's getting ready to graduate for what's it called? It's in the medical field. It's not medical supervision, but that's basically knowing all the ins and outs of what you have to do to move people around in a hospital and get paperwork done and all the rest of that, which unfortunately is about half of what staying in a hospital seems to be about these days. It doesn't seem to be about getting people well. It's who's getting paid and how are they getting paid and all of that other happy stuff. Everything is itemized, and I can get part of it because it's so easy for people to file a lawsuit for malpractice on maybe just a simple non-fatal error, but people are always looking for that edge to contact a lawyer and try to make some money out of misfortune, whether it's their own or somebody else's. But the really weird part was I didn't really know how to get out from where I was, so she was kind enough to walk me down to the lobby, and she mentioned that her 2 kids had taken Taekwondo, and as it turned out, her kids went to the same martial arts school that Tracy and I and the boys went to, Use Martial Arts. And so that led to a whole nother discussion as we sat there and just kind of shot the breeze, and it took longer than it had to, mostly just because we were having fun talking. So by the time I finally actually went home and got changed and went to work, it was like an hour later than I really wanted to. But I did finally get into work, but I didn't spend, I ended up staying an hour later at work just to kind of make up for it. But I didn't really want to do that. But you do the things that you have to do to make up the time. And when I left, I had to stop at Costco to fill the car up with gas because and by the way, Costco gas, at least in this area, is like 50 cents cheaper a gallon than everywhere else. And I'm not really sure how they do that, because they have to pay all the same taxes and they get their gas from the same distributors as everybody else, is my guess. But I'm not going to complain because I like cheaper gas. Anyway, Thursday. Now, Tracy's birthday is Friday. But Thursday, we're going to meet with son Peter and likely eventual wife, Liza, for dinner at this really, really good Italian restaurant that we found in Stafford. And I wish I could tell you the name of it, because it was just excellent. Oh, come on. And the funny part was we basically ate there when we moved Peter and Liza away from Stafford down to Fredericksburg, where they are now. So when we got done moving, of course, we're all sweaty and wearing shorts and all the rest of that. We walk into this restaurant. I think I've told this story. They were reluctant to sit us, but it was in the midst of, if you're a restaurant, you don't turn down paying customers. They just moved us to a part of the restaurant where nobody else was. We were not in good shape. So, but that's where we're going to eat on Thursday for Tracy's birthday, even though it's the next day, and also to get the keys, to their place, because they're going out of town, and Tracy's going to spend the weekend there taking care of Midna, their cat. So I will be spending the weekend pretty much alone. But you probably noticed I'm yawning a lot. In this guy's daily drive, and there's a really good reason why. I did not sleep well last night. And I don't know why, but about an hour after I went to bed, and I'd already been asleep, my big toe that the doctor had worked on, it wasn't like constantly throbbing, but it was painful. It would just like every once in a while twinge, and that would wake me up. And then just as I was going back to sleep, Tracy would start snoring. And it was like this never-ending battle of twingy toe and Tracy snoring, and I finally just gave up. And I went downstairs and fell asleep on the couch. And every time I thought about getting up and going back to bed after I'd slept for an hour or two, Jelly would be on my chest. I was on the sofa. So I never did make it back upstairs. When I finally woke up, I was thinking, okay, well, now I'm going to go back upstairs and go to bed. But no, it was already actually a little past time to get up. So I had to get up and start getting ready for the day. So that's kind of what's been going on. Just a weird day all in general. I have a follow-up appointment with the foot doctor in about 3 weeks. And I have a follow-up appointment with my general physician, who is going to check and see or how well my blood pressure medicine is working. I've been dutifully taking my blood pressure twice a day. Once in the morning, once in the evening. And it's, it seems to be, it's weird. It's better because I take the blood pressure pill in the morning. And it's better in the evening than it is in the morning. And I assume that's just because it's finally, the blood pressure medicine has worked its way into my system and is doing its regulating thing. I don't know. But it's certainly a lot lower than it was when I started taking these pills. So I guess I'm getting used to it. Anyway, that is going to do it for today. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me today on Guy's Daily Drive. I really do appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to watch and or listen to Guy's Daily Drive. And if you want to get a hold of me, email address is guy@mymac.com or podcast@vertshark.com. You can also call me. I don't think I'd be able to play the comments here on Guy's Daily Drive, but you can call me. We have a Skype number, 703-436-9501. And if you do it on your regular phone, it's a 1 or a +1, depending on where you live. If you do it through the Skype app, it's just a plain old 703-436-9501. You can contact me on the Twitters. I have two Twitter handles, MacParrot and VertShark. Both of those are there on the Twitters. If you would like to, you don't have to, but if you would like to donate to help offset my costs for all the things that I'm doing in podcasting, you can go to patreon.com/MacParrot. You can buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com/MacParrot, or you can pay a pal at paypal.me/MacParrot. And again, you don't have to do any of those things if you don't want to. It's not that big a deal. I will keep doing all of the things that I do. You can also find me in the mymac.com podcast. I recorded one on Sunday with Carl Madden from the Mac and Forth podcast, because Gaz is still on walkabouts. Hopefully next week he will return, and it'll be a normal show, for what we call a normal show anyway, of the mymac.com podcast. And of course I did In Touch with iOS last Thursday. That is Dave Ginsburg's show, and we did that with Kelly Goulant, who is on a variety of different shows. But I think, unless I've missed something, I think that's going to be it for right now. So once again, thank you for joining me here on Guy's Daily Drive. And I will see all of you next time right here on Guy's Daily Drive. Bye-bye.